So I'm going to go against the grain today because I'm going to explain to you why bidding wars could actually hurt the sale of your home, and we're going to get started right now. What's up, everybody? This is All Things Tennessee, and I'm Ben Barredo, a local realtor with Wallace Real Estate in Knoxville, Tennessee. In this video, I'm going to tell you about the downsides of a bidding war scenario. If you're selling a house, this is going to be important to you. I know it's weird. Bidding wars can usually lead to more money in your pocket, and you're probably getting told by all the realtors that talk to you how great it is. But I'm going to explain the downside, so let's get started. So this is something that I've been thinking about a lot lately, and it's often portrayed as the ultimate dream scenario for anybody that's selling their house. But have you ever really thought about it, considered the potential downsides of a bidding war? Now, if you're a regular homeowner, you probably don't know what downsides there could be, so I'm going to help you out with that. But first, let's discuss the obvious advantages of a bidding war. So obviously, it could potentially drive up the sales price of the house if you have multiple buyers competing against each other by making what we call the highest and best offer. When buyers don't know what the other highest and best offer is, they're usually forced to basically offer the maximum amount that they can on your home. This can be an ultimate scenario for anybody involved because it means more money for the sellers, more money for the agents, and you know, both agents, in fact. However, let's take a step back and think about it, because there are some drawbacks of a bidding war. Now, not only is there added stress of juggling multiple offers, there's also an uncertainty that comes with getting an extremely high offer if the result of the bidding war is a high offer price. I mean, if you thought it was hard negotiating with one or two opposing parties, imagine negotiating with 5 or 11. This kind of situation can lead to not only stress, but also hasty decisions on both sides that can result in cold feet, doubt, and deals that fall apart before they get to the closing table. During the height of the market, my broker actually said that she wrote more earnest money release forms in a few months than she did in the last few years combined. And why is that? Well, I'll break all that down shortly. In addition to stress, overzealousness, and cold feet, the home will have to appraise if a loan is involved. And the odds of it appraising the higher you go is less likely too. Let's break these downsides down some more, and as we do so, maybe identify even more situations that make this a risky proposition. So let's jump back to the beginning. Again, a bidding war is a scenario when a listing gets multiple offers. Now, technically, a bidding war is more than 2 offers. I guess you could call 2 offers a bidding war if you play the situation right, but at the end of the day, a bidding war is when a listing gets multiple offers and the buyer's forced, usually by direction from the listing side, to make their best and final offer, and then the seller will choose the best. It's basically taking a traditional listing and it turns it into almost like an auction situation. Sometimes the seller might choose the best and negotiate with them for changes that they want, but rarely in a bidding war situation does the buyer get a chance to negotiate anything in the beginning. So there are a lot of downsides for the buyer in a bidding war situation, but this video again is about the downsides for the seller. So again, though this scenario sounds great for the seller, it can create a scenario of rash thinking. The seller just sees the numbers and might not consider the rest of the offer or the rest of the things we'll discuss in this video. Rash thinking in the sale of real property is not a recipe for success, and things get missed, causing problems down the road. Again, rash thinking doesn't just come from the seller, it comes from the buyer, but the end result will affect everyone. When a buyer throws a best and final at a house, they usually do so with the intention of beating other offers, not as much about protecting themselves and their investment. So now, unless specifically voided in wording from the offer, a buyer always is going to have a way out of the transaction. So now, take a step back and imagine being a buyer, making a maximum offer on a house that you think you want. How many of us start to have purchasing doubts or regrets? Now multiply that by the fact that you just offered all the money you have and all the loan amount or all the loan amount you qualify for at the house, and you only saw the house for 30 minutes to an hour one day. The reason I brought up my broker earlier is because it points out that more deals fall apart during a seller's market when inventory is low and buyers outnumber inventory 10 to 1 because buyers change their mind and walk away. That leaves the seller sitting there forced to put their house back on the market or take one of the other offers from the bidding war, which usually means a lower offer, you also have lost time, you also lost your position in being able to leverage the bidding war. Now you're going back to the buyer with palms out, giving them the upper hand. In addition to the fact that the buyer might walk, there's the fact that the buyer might accidentally outbid themselves. You see, when a buyer's using a loan, it's not guaranteed that the loan is going to go through until the house is in underwriting and they're actually at the closing table. The process of actually really qualifying the buyer starts once the house is under contract. Less often, but it could happen that the buyer pushes the purchase price up too high, which makes it harder for them to qualify for the loan in the end. So not only do you have a high chance that the buyer gets cold feet and backs out, but you also have a higher chance that the buyer's unable to qualify for the higher priced home. So before we jump into the biggest reason why bidding wars can be dangerous, make sure to check out last week's video where I break down the real estate market update for the month of May. You can watch that by clicking right here, or you can follow a link in the description. Also, while you're here, make sure to do all the YouTube stuff like and subscribe this video. That would be awesome. And of course, if you're thinking of buying or selling real estate in the Knoxville area, give me a call. I would love an opportunity to sit down with you, hear what your goals are, and see how I can make attaining those goals that much easier. Okay, so the biggest downside to a bidding war is going to come later in the process, after you're under contract for 2 or 3 weeks. Now, this doesn't happen as often with cash buyers because they're not usually doing this. However, you're not going to get that many cash buyers willing to overpay for a house, because in that scenario, they have a lot more leverage than the average buyer using a loan. But the vast majority of buyers aren't walking around with hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash that they can just use to purchase a home. So you're more than likely going to be running into buyers that are using loans. And one step in the loan process that cannot be skipped is an appraisal. Now, in any market, a seller is going to list their house at market value, and that market value is usually based on the professional analysis from a real estate agent if you're doing things correctly. So that analysis is usually pretty accurate. If you ever notice, houses never go up in price once they're listed on the market. They usually go down, unless maybe it's taken off the market and there's some renovations and work done, and then maybe the seller may put it back on at a higher price. But that's an exception to the rule and not usually the case. With that said, a bunch of buyers are offering over asking that they're usually offering over market value. So what do you think is going to happen during an appraisal? I'll tell you what's going to happen. Often the house doesn't appraise at the sales price. And what happens in that situation? Well, in that situation, you basically have 3 options. You can guess which one is more likely after I tell them all to you. Now, the first option is the buyer makes up the difference by bringing cash to the table. Again, if you're using a loan, you may have extra cash sitting around, but that's usually going to go towards, closing costs, your down payment, moving costs. So you're not going to have that much money laying around. And if you're $10,000 to $50,000 below sales price, that's probably not going to happen. The next potential scenario is the seller lowers the price in order to make the numbers work so the buyer can qualify for the loan and move forward with the purchase of the home. Obviously, in this scenario, that higher sales price just went out the window, and the whole upside of the bidding war is now gone. And then the third option is that basically both parties call it quits and go their separate ways, leaving the seller in a scenario where they're putting their house back on the market after being off the market for several weeks, and the likelihood of another bidding war is almost zero. Usually by the time the appraisal happens, again, it's been about 3 weeks of the house being off the market. And when the house pops back on the market after being off the market, it raises suspicion and questions in the buyers out there looking at homes, or anyone that's been following the property. And additionally, the property is no longer new and fresh. It's now a stale property going for a second try because it failed the first time and is now back on the market looking for a new buyer, putting that house in a worse position to leverage being fresh on the market again. This third scenario makes it almost impossible for you to sell your house for much higher than maybe a few percentage points over the sales price. Now, again, which one of those do you think is the most likely scenario in the event a home does not appraise at the sales price? Well, again, it really depends on the seller's motivation, but usually the deal's going to fall apart. The reason for that is most sellers got stuck on that high sales price, and once you see that for several weeks and you start planning how you're going to spend that money, it's really hard to go backwards from there. As you can see, bidding wars can lead to more money in your pocket as a seller, but it can also lead to a lot of headache, and some scenarios that end leads to either less money or the money you were expecting to get before the bidding war never enters into your life. At a minimum, it could cost you time, and in a real estate market where things move fast, time costs you money. Well, that's it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful and maybe even entertaining. I'll see you guys next week. Again, thanks for stopping by, and you have a good one. Bye.